Good morning, everybody. Scott at Enduro America down at the shop today. Today I'm going to do a video walk around of the Ineos and kind of the things that we've done to it so far. A lot of people on the forums anyway were kind of asking for a video, so I thought I'd just put one out there, kind of go over the entirety of the vehicle and the things that I've done and what I've done to kind of make it comfortable for me. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to start at the front of the vehicle here and kind of just work my way back and go over all of the things that we've added and all that good stuff. Let me get the camera turned around. We are in the shop today too. It's kind of loud. There's a lot of traffic out here right now. But starting at the front, we went with the factory winch. The reason I did that is because I really just wanted everything to be integrated. I wanted the controls and the functionality to be tied in with the vehicle itself. On top of that too, I guess you get warranty with it, so if something goes wrong, Ineos will take care of that. Unfortunately for me, I'm like 7.5 hours from the local dealer, which doesn't really help much. But we ended up putting the Factor 55 Ultra hook on the front. And I've run these in the past in some of the Jeeps and Land Rovers and stuff that we've built up. And they've proven to be really good products. Good company. They stand behind their stuff. So the second thing was the raised air intake, and we added the particle separator. I've had the particle separator on here now for, oh gosh, probably, I put it on about a month after I bought the vehicle actually. And I did have a little bit of an issue with this, and you know, to be honest with you guys, I don't think this is really meant for daily driving if you're going to be going on the highway a lot. I drove through some very inclement weather with a lot of wind, and it ended up separating down here, and you can actually see there's still a little bit of a gap. I had to buy new clips that hold this in with these two screws that are down here. I ended up buying the clips for those, and then the inside of this piece, I assume this is removable, but it broke the clips off of this as well, and I'm still waiting to hear from Ineos whether I can replace this piece or not. And again, I'm not 100% sure, but this needs to be taken care of. I'm hoping I don't have to buy the entirety of the raised air intake again, this whole bottom section, because that'll probably get kind of pricey all over again. But in all honesty, this is another complaint that I have. I think this is a little bit of a poor design. These screws down here, they should have incorporated 2 more screws here, or maybe molded this so that it molded to the body on the top sides as well, or at least one up here. Which I may have to do something and just kind of modify this and have a little bracket made just so it holds this in a little tighter, because this thing does wiggle. I mean, you can see it's not as bad as it was because we've fixed it up a little, but I mean, you can see this top section wiggles quite a bit. You can see there's some scarring and stuff on it from the trails we've been doing. But I also had to modify inside of here to try to take care of, just make it a little tighter, and this needs to be redone again. I used like a foam material and lined this because I had like literally like a 1/4 inch gap. It was horrible. So if you guys are buying the particle separator, it comes with this tube and the particle separator. You're going to have to finagle it a little bit unless Ineos plans on fixing that. I've brought it to their attention multiple times now. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything, so I'm a little disappointed there. We went with the factory rock sliders. And again, I was just trying to keep everything factory. You know, when we ordered this vehicle, we ordered it with the majority of this stuff too from the factory, and the dealer installs these. And looking back now, I maybe would have waited because there's some designs that seem to be a little bit better, a little tighter to the body, and a little more aesthetically pleasing. But I do like the look of this. I do plan to add the front brush bar, or the roo bar that most companies or most countries call it, because we don't have it here in the U.S. There are a number of different companies that are making aftermarket options for the roo bars, and hopefully down the road we're going to put that on there, and then that'll kind of match the side steps as well too. So it'll tie it in. It'll look like it was meant to be from the factory. We did the Rhino rack, roof rack. I've got a Pelican case up here with just the majority of the recovery gear, stuff that gets dirty that you don't want inside the truck. I kept there's a recovery strap. There's some D-rings. There's a spare, a spare, what am I trying to say here? The ARB tire patch kit, tire repair kit, and then also a compressor. And I still have the slime pump that I've been running for the past decade. So that thing's up in there, and it still works just fine. We added Rigid Industries lights as camp lights. I'm not a big like aftermarket light fan, but I do like the rigid stuff. They warranty it for life. I actually had a problem already with this light that was back here, and no questions asked. They were like, hey, just destroy the light, show us pictures, video, whatever, and we will take care of it for you. And they did. They sent me a brand new light, which was really awesome. So props to Rigid. I will definitely buy their products and recommend their products. They are a little pricey. They're proud of their stuff, but they stand behind it, and they are very good products. When you look at kind of the build quality and the wiring and everything else on one of these compared to, like, you know, I guess anything else that I've had, I mean, from Tractor Supply all the way to you know, Harbor Freight and whoever else sells these type of lights, I honestly feel like these are the best ones out there. So we spec'd it with these side channel rails, so they're on the doors and here. I just have these sticking here because I bought so dang many of them. I didn't realize that I'd purchased that many, so they're just kind of there for aesthetic purposes right now. I haven't really done anything. I've got a little clip that I hang my towel. If I go camping, I can hang the towels and stuff off those, which is kind of nice. We do have the road shower up top too. I didn't talk about that. That's a 7-gallon road shower. If you're out, especially where we're at in the desert, that water will, like, it doesn't boil, but it gets very, very hot. So whatever material they're using on these, this was the old school one before Yakima bought them. They're awesome. So really like that thing. I had to rebuild a couple other things on it so far and put a new head on it, just because down here everything's so dry and we don't use it all that often. So the nature nest is hopefully going to get relocated soon. We've been talking about putting that somewhere on the side over here, just so it's a little easier accessible. I'm trying to make a custom bracket that I can attach right onto here, so it's, you know, you can just zip it here. The way that it sets right now, to be able to set it up and redo it, I mean, I can barely, like, this is me reaching up here right now. So, I mean, I can unzip it and stuff, but putting it back in there and rolling it up and holding it there while you're trying to zip it is kind of a pain in the butt because it's pretty high up there. So, again, that's something that's going to need to be kind of relocated. 2.5-gallon NATO-style jerry can, fuel can up there with the rack. It is lockable, which is kind of nice. And then I've also got I can climb up here. I've got a set of cheap Max Tracks up here too, if you guys can see. I'm waiting for the side window deal to come in, and I'm going to buy the actual Max Tracks because they're a lot skinnier. These ones up here, like, they're really thick. So I'm waiting for that so that I can just mount them here. So they're, again, it's just accessibility. It'll make it easier to get stuff up and down. And then there's a little less weight on the roof too at the same time, although those don't weigh that much. I did not buy, I used to call it the gentleman's trash can on the back here. We've had them on our Land Rovers, and I can't remember the company, but they're like $300. I didn't want to spring for that because every one of these things that I've had seems like they last about 6 months, and they're all faded and gross and nasty anyway. So again, this one's been sitting inside, and it's still super faded. I mean, you can probably see the difference. I mean, look at that already. And that's literally, so if you look at the inside compared to that, that's literally from just driving, you know, 7,000 miles of driving, and then this thing sits in the garage, you know, beyond that. So we did the tow package. I have towed with it. I've actually towed the little 19-foot Bay Pro boat, and the thing tows great. It's fantastic. I was actually really, really impressed with the towing capabilities of this. So pretty neat there. I don't know if it's unlocked. Yep, it is. So I have just some more stuff that I always keep in here. I always have a camp chair just kind of strapped to the side. My hammock. There's some rock climbing gear in here. I don't know why I put that in there, honestly. I've got another little step stool because I need that to be able to get up there to the roof nest. And then toilet paper, paper towels, the ladder for the tent system, which I'll show you in a minute, which I don't know if it's really necessary that I carry this around. This one's a lot easier to work with than this, especially with the nature nest on there, because otherwise I just climb up the back. I've got a Dometic. I think this is a CFX 28, 27, 28. I don't remember the model on it, but it's a smaller little fridge. It does really, really well. I've got some walkie-talkies. a Moscow moto bag that my buddy bought me that I usually use on my motorcycle, but I just used the straps on the back of the cargo barrier here and kind of strapped it up there. I have like additional tie straps, or excuse me, ratchet straps, zip ties, tools, just little things that are kind of stuck in there. I carry a lock system with me in case I go someplace kind of funky. I'll lock everything up. This is a little bit ghetto still. These are the solar cables that are coming off of the solar panel that I installed on the top of my iCamper. And I have not got around to being able to drill. I need to drill a hole in the roof and seal everything off to get these. So they're kind of just stuck in the door jamb right now, which is working just fine. It doesn't seem to be crimping them off or anything. Oh yeah, on this side, sorry. This side we've got the factory. If I can do this one-handed, maybe. Yep. The factory table. So when I'm camping, I always just keep these sandals with me. There's a first aid kit here that we installed. There's my lock for when I lock up the rest of the stuff. Kind of keeps everything a little more tidy. Obviously the flag on the back. This is from Fly a Flag. I love these things. This one's getting a little tatty. I'm going to have somebody kind of fix this up and probably put a couple extra stitches in it. I've got to have I'd rather be something, probably fishing. Yeah, I don't know. We've got another rigid light on this side too. So there's lights on all three sides for camp lights. And you can run those standalone, which I'll show you guys in a sec. But the iCamper up there, super, super easy. This thing has been just a godsend because you latch these two latches on the back and it just deploys. I mean, your tent is literally set up. I mean, you can set this thing up in less than a minute. Deploy it, pull the little string deal down and put your ladder on these two side mounts and your tent is done. I leave the sleeping bag, everything except for the pillow. The pillow will not fit in there. These things are really small. It's only like, it's shy of 7 inches thick. So you can't stuff a whole lot of things in there, but it is kind of nice. I did mount the shovel on the side here. I've never had to use the shovel, so it looks, kind of like a mall crawler right now because it's not even dirty. So same thing on this side with the rails. And then we put a 1 inch bigger tire on here. I don't recall exactly what size these were. 275/70 18s. BF Goodrich. So that was probably a week after I actually bought the truck. I put these little tiny bit bigger tires on here. And got us about another inch of clearance roughly. Maybe a ½ inch because it's an inch bigger tire. The little A up here we did. Obviously the American flag stickers because I put those on literally everything I own. And then up on the dash I don't leave this plugged in ever because it just kills it, but I've got the Garmin Overlander. Really nice unit for navigation and everything else because these vehicles, again, do not have navigation. You can use your Android Auto for navigation if you choose. But kind of a neat deal. You can switch, where is it here? There's a power switch on here. Yeah, just this main power switch right here. You can switch this first switch and it'll activate these so that you can kind of operate those standalone. So I don't know if that's pulling from the secondary battery or not. So we did option this with a dual battery system from the factory. But power wise, I think the vehicle does fantastic. Not really any complaints. It is a little, my wife drives the G-Wagon around mostly, and I drive that every now and then. And it's tough to go from that to this, because the G-Wagon's like driving a sports car compared to this thing, motor-wise, because it's got the twin-turbo V8 in it. But otherwise, I don't think it's anemic at all. This is a really great vehicle. I think Ineos knocked it out of the park with this thing. There's not a lot of complaints that I have. There's like goofy little things, like I say, the accessory stuff that I put on with our, like the particle separator. I'm not a huge fan of the ADAS system, just because it's kind of like if you've owned a vehicle like this, or if you own an airplane. The thing is like having an airplane. Like you do your pre-systems check before you go fly. So it's the same thing with this. Like there's a number of sequences that you're going to perform when you get into this vehicle to be able to drive off. Like I hate the auto stop start. You can't permanently disable that. You have to hit that button every time. The parking distance controller thing I think is just crappy too. I always hit that button. I've got the program set into the favorites button to turn off the ADAS speed. It's like a speed limiting kind of system. If it senses that you're going over the speed limit, 1 mile an hour, I mean, the thing's like clicking at you and it drives you just bonkers. So little things like that, which I'm really hoping that Ineos is going to address and kind of fix down the road. Other than things like that, the vehicle itself is fantastic. I mean, I can check exactly again here. I think I've put about 7,000 miles on it. 7,600 miles we have on right now. So I'm not dissatisfied with it at all. That 7,600 miles has provided a lot of fun. Done a lot of overlanding trips, a lot of camping, a lot of travel with my daughter and my wife, and it's been pretty good. Like I say, no other complaints. If I had to talk about one thing that I disliked the most about the entirety of this vehicle, it would probably be the ADAS system, and I know it's going to drive me crazy coming up. And this kind of makes me angry because Ineos marketed these vehicles as you being able to go out there and service the vehicle yourself, because they don't have a lot of dealers in the United States. And a lot of people are posting now that they're getting the warning lights and the warning chimes and all that stuff coming up because of the oil changes. Like, they've gone ahead and changed their own oil because they live 7, 8, 9 hours from a dealer, some people farther. They've gone ahead and done that, and now they're not able to reset those unless you take the thing to the dealer, which I think is total crap. Ineos definitely needs to come up with a system or an update or something along the lines of being able to go in there, for the users to go in there and take care of that themselves. Again, being 7.5 hours away from a dealer, I already have everything I need. I purchased the oil and the filter and everything else. I got the filter right straight from Ineos, had them ship it here to be able to do the oil change when it needs it. And I'm not going to drive this thing 7.5 hours just to the dealer to say, like, oh, here, reset my little oil light. I think that's crazy. So things like that, I think Ineos is going to have to work out. This is a brand new vehicle. It's a brand new product. These are all things that, again, it's just, as a company, they're going to have to take the advice and the feedback of their customers and hopefully take care of those things. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Like I say, I've got a couple videos that I got to put together here that I have the footage of us overlanding and off-roading, and maybe I'll throw something in here if I can dig one up here real quick. But I'll get this one up just, again, so you guys can kind of see the rig itself and the usage that we're getting out of it. So again, hope you guys enjoy.